This video is brought to you by Straight Goods News, Canada's alternative online news source. Visit straightgoods.ca.
Just to give an update on the progress of Bill C-39, as many of you know, last night or early this morning actually, we sat till approximately 1:15 a.m. and the House of Commons passed the bill. And as is normal tradition in history, every single time back-to-work legislation has been passed in the House, it goes to the Senate in short term, meaning that it's usually the next day that the Senate considers it, goes to committee of the whole. I didn't receive an invitation to go to Senate today, and as a result I've been informed that the Senate won't be dealing with the matter today. They don't have agreement from the Liberal senators to do so. It's very disappointing because, as we laid out very clearly, this is causing an economic effect each and every day. Not only that, there's an expectation that people will be returning to work on Thursday. So I guess I'm calling on the Liberals to help speed the passage of this, if they can in any way. But more importantly, it's always in the hands of the parties to return to work. So what I'm really asking as well too is this, that I'm asking CP Rail and the Teamsters to voluntarily return to work on Friday, knowing that they have to get their operations up and running. I understand, but if we were to follow normal parliamentary procedure, we would be in a position to have royal assent this evening with 12 hours to put the trains back in place where they can start rolling. We're calling upon the Teamsters and CP Rail to voluntarily do that, and I'm also asking the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Mulcair, to do the same, to ask the Teamsters, since he advocated so strongly for their position last night, that he asked them as well too, and use his authority and his presence to ask them to return to work as well too, and we're doing the same thing with both CP and with Teamsters.
Minister, technically the bill was adopted this morning, so a full day is really tomorrow, so what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with it is that it costs. There's no reason why the Senate could not listen to the bill today. There's no reason why they cannot hear the bill today whatsoever. We've done it in the past. It's been done every single time that we've encountered it in history. There's absolutely zero good reason why this bill can't be dealt with today and that the trains can be operating on Thursday.
Have you contacted Teamsters and CP? They want to make sure to listen to the witnesses. What do you make of that? Do you think it's important?
Well, I've seen the list of witnesses, and the list of witnesses have all been quoted by the opposition, by the Liberals in the House the last 2 days. Look, we've listened to the parties as well too, but the clear fact of it remains is this: parties are not at the table; they're not negotiating. There is a work stoppage, and the bill is about putting people back to work and helping the economy, and that's what we're seeking: the immediate putting back to work, so that they continue to help the economy and that the trains will start to operate. There's no more need for discussion. The parties have decided themselves they're not going to get a deal. Parliament has intervened, and they should let the normal course happen.
Have you contacted the Teamsters and CP, and what are their response?
Well, I have not contacted them formally. Informally, they know what my ask is. I will contact them formally right after I finish this conference with you.
One of the arguments that some might put forward that in fact the parliamentary tradition, the Senate does have a place as a sober second thought, and it ought not to be there if you rubber stamping the things that you decide.
Not asking for a rubber stamp, asking for somebody to take a look at it in the time frame in which it's always been looked at. It's recognized that back-to-work legislation is extraordinary and has been treated as such in the past 60 years. I don't know what the break from reality is for this Liberal Party right now. They've consistently acted on behalf of the economy, and right now all of a sudden they seem to think it's okay for an extra day so that they can consider witnesses. They could have done it today. I was prepared to go to committee. The whole CP was prepared. The Teamsters were prepared, because that is the normal procedure. For some reason they decided not to do it, and that has a cost, and it's an $80 million cost, and we're asking the Teamsters and CP Rail to voluntarily return to work so that we can get this.
You're asking them for circumventing the process.
Say that you're basically trying to turn this into a process story, but it's about the process to turn it from 48 hour notice to 24 hours rather than the actual substance of the bill. How do you respond to that?
The story is an economic story, and the story is if we had always intended to have the parties go back to work on Thursday when we introduced the bill on Monday, taking a look at historical analysis and 50 years of precedents. Unfortunately, it wasn't anticipated that the Liberals would simply choose not to cooperate in hearing the bill. It doesn't mean that they have to vote in favor of it at the Senate. I'm not asking for a rubber stamp, but I am asking that they respect tradition and they respect the emergency and they respect the economy, because this really is a time is of the essence matter, and they're rejecting it. So I want to
If they vote for it tomorrow, when will they go back to work theoretically without your?
According to the bill, Bill C-39 says that it's 12 hours after royal assent is when people should be returning to work. I'm asking the Teamsters and CP Rail to return to work starting from now in 12 hours. As soon as they can get back on the rails, I'm asking them to voluntarily return to work.
Do you think they will voluntarily do that?
They have done in the past. CN and the Teamsters have voluntarily returned to work in the past, and indeed in this case, they voluntarily agreed to provide commuter service. So I know that they want to do what's best for their customers and they want to do what's best for their companies, and I'm asking them to